guys, and welcome. Welcome to your lunch break. Thank you so much for spending Wednesday lunchtime with us. Whether you're eating lunch or maybe you don't even eat lunch at this time, I just want to thank you for being here. This was something that I listened to about 9 years ago, and I was like, could this even be possible? I thought to myself, you know what? I do a lot of this anyway, and I want more accountability in fitness. Maybe, just maybe, this is something we should do. Let me tell you what's about to happen, and I'm going to introduce myself as well. My name is Mindy Lawhorne. I've been doing this business for 9 years. This is all my husband and I do. He retired at about 4 years in, and we work this together. We love it. It is a passion of our heart, but it also helps me keep my weight off, and it allows me to reach so many people. Now, what's going to happen on this particular call is I'm going to introduce you to our next speaker. And then 3 different ladies are going to speak, all coming from different backgrounds. We all live in different parts of the country. And we just want to share with you our experience, maybe answer some questions you have, and just let you know all the different ways that this business can be worked, whether you just want to do it a little bit, or maybe you just want the discount, or you really want to try to make money and possibly a big lifestyle change with this. I'm so happy you're here. And with that being said, I want to introduce our first speaker, one of my Star Diamond downline coaches. Her name is Sam Malandano-Cone. She actually has a bun in the oven at this exact moment, and I'm going to let her come in and speak to you. Now, real quickly, when I transition to speakers, there's a little bit of a delay, so please be patient with us. It's just that YouTube transition thing. So give us about 5 to 8 seconds, and I'll get her on. All right, Sam. You ready?
I am ready. Can you guys see me? Hear me? Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Mindy. My name is Samantha Cone, and I live in Quakertown, Pennsylvania. As she said, I am a wife. I'm a doggy mom of a rambunctious pit bull, and I have a bun in the oven. I'm 7 months pregnant with our first baby, so it's been a really exciting year. I have been a coach for 3 years, and I want to share my story because I'm going to share how I started as a night shift registered nurse working in the hospital, and actually 3 years later, I actually work full-time as a Beachbody coach. So I know that you probably hear that, and you're like, wow, that's great, but that's great for her, but it's probably not going to happen for me. And I want to share my story and different pieces of it so you guys realize that I am no different than anybody else out there. If anything, I had tons of factors working against me. So hopefully you can relate to part of my story. So let me just bring it back. About 3.5 years ago, I was working night shift in the hospital. It was probably about 5 years into nursing. Holidays, weekends, overtime, just enough to like really pay the bills. I was an athlete my whole life, so it was pretty easy to stay healthy and fit, but those nurses or healthcare workers or people that work long hours, you know, you kind of fall into, I call it the vending machine diet. And we preach to be healthy, but we sometimes are the most unhealthy. And I found myself gaining weight, losing my confidence, and really just not comfortable in my own skin. So I was that person that woke up 3 nights in a row to an infomercial for a workout program called T25, if anybody has done that. And I was like, Lord, this is a sign from God. I have to try this workout. This is like him telling me. So I said, I can do 25 minutes a day. So I started to do it, and naturally people started to ask me what I was doing because I started to lose weight. And I'm going to tell you a little secret. I started the workout program, and I heard a lot about this, this meal replacement called Shakeology, and I said, heck no, I'm a nurse. I don't put anything in my body that's not natural. I'm not even looking into it, and it's too expensive. So I started doing the program by itself, and if anybody can relate to that, and I saw okay results, but not really what I was looking for, and it really was because I wasn't dialing into nutrition. So I started to research Shakeology, and being the nerd that I am as a nurse, I was like researching the crap out of it, and I realized that it was really amazing stuff that I wasn't getting in my diet. So I said, here's another, I'm a great coach. I bought my first bag of Shakeology on eBay to try to get a sale. And I said, I'm going to do 30 days, see what results I can get, and go from there. And I actually dropped 20 pounds and 15 inches in my 5 weeks of drinking Shakeology and just doing the workouts. So naturally, people started to ask me what I was doing. And honestly, I sent probably 10 to 12 people to Beachbody.com. I had no idea there was a business opportunity or I could help them in any way. And fast forward 8 months later, I was actually glamping because I do not camp. I just glamp with my in-laws. And my sister-in-law said, Sam, you know, you can get your shakes paid for. And honestly, that's what rang in my head. So you guys know I do this full time now, and it's a lot about other people, but I have to be honest, my first reason why I wanted to do this was for myself. I wanted to stay on track. I wanted to get my products paid for, and I said, heck yeah, if I can help a couple people. Now remember, I went to school for nursing. That was my degree. I had no idea, you know, that I would ever make a career out of this. So that's kind of how I started. Like I said, things working against me. I honestly had no background whatsoever in retail, in network marketing. I honestly wasn't even on Facebook. So all of you guys out there that say I don't have a lot of Facebook friends or, you know, I don't know that many people, I was never on social media until I started this business. So I had a lot to learn. With all that set aside, I started to do this business and started to build relationships with people. And I started to find that I had a passion in the preventative side of healthcare. Working with people, helping them, you know, prevent coming into the hospital. I worked in the ER. I worked in all the different pediatric units in the hospital, any traumas, any heart attacks that were going on. Like, I was there for all of that. And I just thought to myself, if I can help a few of these people not have to come in and be able to, you know, live a long life with their family, why not? So I started to find passion in that. I'm going to tell you another part of where I found passion. I worked for a really big health network that management, honestly, my supervisors, it really was a title. And I don't know if anybody can relate to this, but, you know, sometimes you work for these big networks and your leadership is not exactly how you would lead. And at the time, there was a lot going on in my hospital. I tried to help with education, with new policies, and it really didn't matter. To be honest, there were nurses there that were feeling that they were harassed or they were being called dumb or you're not part of our group. And I just saw this, and I have to tell you, when you're a coach and your passion is helping people be better, it's hard to stay quiet. And I tried to help those people, and it only worked against me, honestly. And my superiors, they just didn't want any sort of wave. So I just realized I'm only going to get so far in this business, and I still have to abide by certain rules or by management or people above me. And I just found building a team and building a business was a way for me to lead by example and lead the way I always wanted to. So I started building my team. I started digging in. Like I said, I knew nothing about anything with social media, but I focused on three things, and that was building relationships, leading by example, and just helping people. And if that was truly where my heart was, it wasn't that I had, you know, this background or was doing anything crazy. I was just focusing on those three things and building every single day. Now, I mentioned to you guys that I was an athlete my whole life. So I missed being part of a team. I missed working towards a common goal with other people. And I started to find that again. I started to find my tribe and people that I was connecting with and people that just had my back and just had common visions and wanted the same things and had similar likes and common interests. And it was amazing. It started to fulfill that part that was missing for a long time. I always say, like, my favorite quote is, leadership is not a position or title, it's an action or an example. And that's truly how I built my team and how I still do. I always tell my coaches, I never want to be above you. I always want to run with you and show you the way. So I found that exhilarating. that I finally was able to run this business the way I wanted to, treat people the way I wanted to be treated, that I wasn't truly getting at my job. So I was building this business. I had to learn how to do it. I was working full-time, night shift, holidays, like I said, but I finally started to have I started to have hope for the future with different possibilities. So with nursing, I kind of knew I was probably going to retire at 65, 70. I kind of knew where I probably would get paid out at. And my life was kind of set. It was just, this is the way it's going to be. And finally, I saw this opportunity. And, you know, if you guys kind of get more into coaching and understand, like, your efforts and what you do matches your success. And I just found that so exciting that just in a couple years of working really, really hard, I could really see the benefits of it, and not just myself, but my team and my coaches underneath me. So I laugh because I had no time. I honestly was working crazy hours, and my time off, I would just work hard to build relationships. But I always say this, that I built my business from the bathroom of my hospital, because truly on the days I was working 14-hour days, the only time I had to work was like if I ran to the bathroom for 5 minutes and just answered a couple messages and talked to a couple people. And that's truly how I did this. So if time's an issue for you guys, like, just know that this is all in your time, and it's not time consuming. It's just being conscious with the time, with what you're doing in that time. So I built my business in the bathroom of my hospital, I like to say, but with tons of hard work. Obviously, it doesn't happen for everybody, but with lots of hard work, I actually was able to go part-time in 6 months at my nursing job. And I just found that as an opportunity to work harder in my business. I had more time to put towards it. And I'm happy to say that in 19 months of working really hard, I was able to match my full-time nursing income, and I retired from my night shift nursing job, and I now work per diem, not because I have to with nursing, but because I still love it, and it's part of my passion, it's part of who I am, and I love the kids. Our team has grown tremendously. Like Mindy said, we were actually top 1% of the company the last 2 years, and I just got word that we are top 200 this year again. So that's all amazing, but I just have to wrap it up with saying the most important part about all of this is my future and my family. 3 years ago, I knew that, you know, we wanted a family. I was with my husband for over 10 years, my fiance, and we just got married in the last year. And I knew that I was going to miss out on so many important moments in my kids' lives, you know, holidays and their first steps and their first time saying mommy. And now I have no stress. I'm, due on Halloween, and I know that I'm going to be a present mom. I'm going to be there for all of those moments with still contributing to my family financially, maintaining my own identity and success. And most importantly, through this whole journey, I've continued to work on myself, my health, from the inside out. And I truly love the person I've become with being a coach and being part of this community. And if I'm asking people to be a better version of themselves, I have to be the best version of myself. So that is my story. I hope that it was relatable to some people out there. There's pieces of the puzzle. And I'm gonna turn it over to our next speaker, who's awesome. Her name is Amy Crescent. She is an awesome mom, and she's gonna talk to you guys pretty cool about being a business owner. So I'll switch it over.
Can you hear me? Okay. All right, let me start over. I am Amy Crescent. I am a wife and mom of a 2-year-old little girl. I live here in Asheville, North Carolina. I became a coach about a year and a half ago, almost a year and a half ago. And let me just tell you guys, Mindy is my coach, and I followed her on social media seriously for 3 or 4 years before I even joined one of these types of groups. I don't know why I decided to join her group at the craziest, most busy time of my life, other than the fact that I just was fed up. I wanted more for myself, for my daughter. I wanted to lose the weight that I had gained when I had my daughter. I wanted to make better choices for myself and my family. So I joined one of these groups, became a coach, and while I became a coach, I was raising my daughter basically by myself full time. And I say by myself because my husband owns his own business also, and he works 7 days a week. He gets home 7, 8 o'clock at night. So caring for her, since we didn't want to put her in daycare and stuff, falls on me, which is fine. I'm happy to do it. But also, while caring for her full time, I had my own retail brick and mortar children's boutique here in Asheville, North Carolina. And I have owned my own business, retail business, for about 15 years, close to 15 years. And I was living the dream, so to speak, which to me, it wasn't a dream. Things I loved about it, for sure. And you did have a little bit more freedom, but you guys, I was working 7 days a week until I had my daughter. I just wanted more. And so I became a coach at the craziest time. I wasn't sleeping good because my daughter still wasn't sleeping good. And then about 6 to 8 months in of becoming a coach, and let me just say why, when I first started, the main reason, like I said, was for my daughter and for my family, making better choices. But as I began to work out and have the accountability and build these relationships with these awesome ladies, and I grew spiritually too, I'm not ashamed to say, I started to realize that maybe this could be more than even just me losing the weight and building these relationships. Maybe this could be a real business. And so 6 to 8 months into becoming a coach, I was on my way home from market, buying for my shop. And I made this decision, like this final decision, I'm selling my shop. Like, this is it. I'm selling it. I want more. The potential I see with coaching is so much more than what I had in my retail business. And let me just say, like, I'm one of those types of people that when I really get behind a decision, and like, it might take me a while to get really behind a decision, but when I do make it, like, I make it happen. And so I decided I'm selling my business. I made a phone call on my way home from market to another store owner here locally, said, please meet with me. I know you don't know who I am, but I own Just Ducky in the Village, and I want to sell, and I want to talk to you about it. Blah, blah, blah. 6 months later, my business is sold. Now this was a huge life change for me because I had been working so hard for so long and working, like, having all these expenses and stuff. And I was like, wow, okay, it's time to do coaching. So to me, the potential is greater. I was kind of tired of payroll taxes and like all this overhead. And so from a business standpoint, when you see people on social media and network marketing, like, I've been on the other side of like owning my own business that's not network marketing. And you guys, this is so legit and like the real deal. And as somebody who had what society says is okay by owning, you know, your own business and being in front of people, having a storefront, like, the potential is better over here in coaching. So if I could just get that across to anybody, like, it's really legit and it's really great, and you grow so much, and you can do it on your own time. And now I can be home with my daughter and not freak out about if somebody's showing up for work or not. And I'm going to be able to take her to school and pick her up. And I'm not going to be stressing 7 days a week over this retail business anymore. And if there's anything that I can just come across how legit this is, and how awesome it is, and how the people are awesome, and how you grow so much in every way, that's all I want to say, really. I hope I've helped you. If you have questions for me, if you're another business owner and you have questions about it, I'd be happy to answer them for anyone. But I hope I've helped, and I am going to pass it on to another coach, my friend Rebecca Ross. So here she is. Thank you, guys.
Okay, can you hear me? Can you hear me okay? I'm hoping so. Okay. Well, hi everyone. My name is Rebecca, and I am happy to be here with you today. And today, I just want to share a few things from my heart, and actually a lesson that I just learned this week that I think is really applicable to this setting. So I'm excited to share with you. So I've been a coach for about a year and a half. Mindy is my coach, and when I was in the same position that you guys are now, I was sitting here and I was in one of these groups and I was watching everything and asking questions. My husband and I had just sat down and had a conversation and made a list of some goals that we wanted to accomplish. And when we looked at that list of goals, we realized that several of those goals were financial in nature. And we have a little bit of a unique situation in that he is not only a full-time high school teacher, but he also is the pastor of our church. And we have a smaller congregation, so we're not able just to live on, the income from that. So he has to do both things. And pastoring is the passion of his heart. He loves teaching also, but pastoring is his passion. And in order for him to live that passion, that means that we have a lot going on in our family. We have 2 boys also, and things happen. You have a house, you have a family, cars break down and things happen, and so we just needed a little bit of extra income. And because he works those 2 jobs, and we are not living in a place right now where we have family nearby, and like the other ladies that have shared with you, because we have such a crazy schedule, it was important to us that the kids come home to one of us. When they come home to school, there's, mom there. And if they're sick, mom is there. They're not going to, a daycare or something like that. So that meant that I needed part-time, flexible hours so that if my kids need me, I could be there. And we made a list, or I made a list actually, of about 5 different things that I could look into doing that may accommodate that. And I'm just going to be honest with you, Beachbody coaching was at the bottom of the list. I had been in a network marketing cosmetics company before and did not have a very good experience. And so that made me a little bit nervous about coming into another network marketing company. I did not want to have to sell things. Like, that was just not my idea of a fun time. So anyway, literally 2 days after I made this list and I started researching some of my options, I had been following Mindy on Facebook, and she came up with the What is Coaching group. And so I connected with her, and long story short, here I am. I said yes. I took the chance and I said yes. And what I just want to share with you is I mentioned a little lesson that I had learned this week that I think is applicable. My husband and I just very recently, and I'm talking within the last couple of weeks, have had an opportunity sort of fall in our lap. And it's one of those things that we've always wanted to have happen, but we thought we were going to have to wait a really long time. And it's not a for sure thing. And there is a lot that's going to go into even seeing if there is a chance for this thing to happen. And I was talking to a friend at church on Sunday, and I was telling her how, we kept going back and forth. Do we take the chance? Do we not take the chance? Is it worth it? Is it not worth it? What if it's the wrong choice? And she just said to me, she's like, you know what? first of all, there's not a right or a wrong. You know, you're either going to take the chance or you're not going to take the chance. And no one is going to, you know, yell at you if you don't. You're not going to get into trouble. But she said, there's a difference between taking a chance and taking a risk. The difference is taking a risk is you're jumping into something you have no prior information. You're just, you know, it looks good, so you're just going to jump in and try. And, you know, you have no safety net. You're just going in and going for it and hoping that it works out. And at the end, you know, it could maybe be really good, but it could also maybe be not so good for you and have really not so good results. But with taking a chance, you're going into it, you have all the information, you're finding out the facts, you're going in with your eyes wide open, and you're able to make an informed decision. And maybe that chance is going to be what you're looking for, and maybe it's not. Maybe it's going to work out, and maybe it's not. But you're never going to know if you don't take that chance. And I will just tell you that coaching is absolutely worth taking that chance. You are here because you want more information, and that is awesome. You should never go into anything without finding out all that you can. I know when I was in the place that you are, I did that. I asked Mindy tons of questions. What about this? Or what about that? And I'm so glad that I said yes. For me, I'm not looking to, you know, be full-time, at least right now. I'm doing this part-time. And it's perfect because I can be here for my kids when I need to be. I can do the things that a pastor's wife needs to do and still take care of my family. And that's the thing that's most important to me. One of the other things that I have found so beneficial from saying yes and taking that chance on coaching is I am here talking to you today, and I was a very shy person, and I still can be kind of shy sometimes. But I would feel comfortable talking with people that I know, but if it was people that I don't know, I would say no, thank you. You know, that's not for me. But I'm here today because I said yes to coaching. And if you choose to say yes, one of the things you're going to learn is you're going to do something called personal development. And when you read these books and you listen to these different podcasts, it's not just going to be all about business and how you can grow your coaching business. It's going to be about how you can grow as a person and how you can take those benefits and those things that you're learning, and you can apply that to other areas of your life, such as learning how to gain confidence and be able to speak to people and share with people and hopefully impact their lives, which is, I know for all of us, but for me, that's why I'm here, is because I want to impact someone's life. I want to help people. So anyway, thank you again for being here. That's all that I have to share today. I'm going to turn it over to Mindy, and she is going to share some closing thoughts with us.
All right, cool. I think thank you, ladies, so much for doing that. 1 second, I'm echoing. All right, so if you ladies could use help. All right, so just kind of in closing, I mean, I want to tell you a little bit about my story, but I'm like a proud mama sitting here with these ladies. And I just remember when I first met Rebecca, the lady that just spoke, we have a lot in common about our hearts and our family and stuff, but she sat on a call just like this and was like, I don't know, I'm not going to talk to people, and I'm not going to do this, and I'm a pastor's wife, and I do, and I'm like, but you're perfect, you're so caring, and you know, you like to work out and you want that to be better. And that was kind of the discussion I had with her. Amy, I talked with her more about the business aspect. She got it totally on a business aspect. And I love what she said about going, I mean, just think about if you were at one point having rent and all the overhead that comes with that, plus employees, plus a cash register, plus all that kind of stuff. And there's so much money that goes out before anything ever comes in. And then you have to pay so much back for so long. before any of that ever happens. And the cool thing with this is that it just starts in such a different spot, but has the potential for so much more. So real quickly, really my story starts with the weight loss. I grew up super chubby. I was the last of 5 kids, and my nickname was CC. Sounds like so cute, right? But it stands for chubby cheeks. And like, they're still kind of there. Like, you can definitely tell sometimes, you know. So my point of bringing that up is that's where I started. And I grew up just sort of chubby my whole life, and I couldn't stand it. But I also had completely different genetics than my sisters and my brother did. And there became a time where I just wanted something different. Now, super chubby, was unathletic. I was in band for the love of Pete. And by the way, I loved band. I will love band forever. It was so much fun. But when you think about fitness, and if I'm going to do this as a business, I'm still that, you know, chubby girl. I don't feel like I'm the right fit for it. But the cool thing about this is it doesn't, who you were or the struggles you have, it only kind of makes you stronger in this business, because anyone that were to come to me and say, listen, but I grew up chubby and I'm not real coordinated. And I'm like, I got you, because guess what? That's me. And it allows me to really, you know, basically witness to them and help them through this process. So I want you just to think about each of our stories, whether you are like Sam and you grew up super athletic and you're used to being in a team, or you're myself, which is quite the opposite. Coaching is for everyone. And there are so many people out there that could use your story, your version, your way of, you know, keeping each other accountable and encouraging people. But I mean, I don't want to jump the gun because I don't know what you decided yet, but I want to share with you that I'm a mom and I have 2 boys. And a matter of fact, I was a single mom for a while. And a matter of fact, I was teaching 22 classes a week at one point. So after I got through being, you know, chubby and uncoordinated, I decided to teach fitness classes, which is not necessary for coaching, but it's where I was, because I could teach a ton of classes, try to, you know, keep my weight off, and then I wouldn't have to put my son in daycare. And that was kind of my means. And I would all the time be on the phone with people trying to help them lose weight, or I'd be training them on the side, or I would have friends in California that were like, can you put a workout together for me? And I'm like, I guess. And so when the coaching thing came, and I call it, I mean, it's an opportunity, but we already buy protein. We already buy all that stuff. And this was before Shakeology when I started 9 years ago. I thought, well, I could use a discount. But this is an avenue for me to help all those people that I've been talking to for all this time with way better products than what I was putting them on, but they still get me. So yes, I want to help you using Turbo Jam, Turbo Fire, Insanity, T25, whatever it is, but it's not that I want to sell you. What I want to show you is how I can help you through this particular program. And when that light went on, I thought, I can totally do this. And so really could anyone. The interesting thing about where our life is now compared to where it was, we work from home. I make my schedule. I only teach classes when I want to. And I bring that up because that could be where you are at one point, but it all starts with that decision. And it all kind of starts with that first program you do. And if you're thinking right now, okay, I could do a program, but I don't really know anyone. And I hate to sell. And I don't really like to talk to people like that. I felt the same way. I felt like maybe I knew people, but who wants to sell? I don't want to be like that icky uncle, you know, that comes to Christmas. Hey, now I have this business. Hey, you want some knives? Hey, you want to, you know, whatever. And I was like, oh, I don't want to be that guy. And I chose not to be that guy. And we still built a ridiculous business. But all the while, we have been living a completely normal life. And what I mean by that is I think a lot of people think if someone has had success in this business, that their life is perfect or they've got it all going on. And let me tell you, nothing could be farther from the truth. Remember, I said I was a single mom. I still struggle with my weight from time to time. This is what keeps me accountable. Oh, real quick. I lost 45 pounds with my first son using Beachbody products, and 70 with my second. And I've kept it off for 9 years, the 70. But in addition to normal life things, you know, like I said, I'm a single mom. My husband has cancer. I recently lost my best friend and my sister. And then soon after that, my husband had to go back in for treatment, and then he lost his mom. And I'm not telling all this to be sad, but I'm letting you know the truth. This business can be worked in any and every season of life. This business can do something for everyone that is willing to do something with it. The business works. It all boils down to if you might want to work it. What really is needed for something like this is someone that's willing to do the products. So find a program you like, join our group and team so we can help you, and you can do as little or as much as you want. Let me just give you this example. My mom is 77 years old and she's a coach. I said to her, Mom, you're drinking Shakeology all the time anyway. By the way, it helps her not have migraines. That's her main reason. And I said, you should be a coach. And she went, I don't want to coach anyone. Blah, blah, blah. And I said, okay, Mom, if you sign up to be a coach, you can also get a 25% discount. You'll save about $28 a month on your Shakeology. She's like, oh, I'll do that. So coaching can be all the way from, I'm going to start with a discount, all the way to working it like these ladies and I are doing. And like technically Sam and I are this full time. I mean, so full time that, you know, my husband retired about 4 years into it. And I could totally tell you all of Sam's accolades and Rebecca and Amy's like Star Diamond and Elite Club and success. And I could tell you that about myself as well, but I just, in the beginning, don't think it matters, because what I know from beginning in this, I'm like, how can this help me? And then how can I eventually use this in my life and maybe to help fulfill my purpose? And I know that that's talking big talk. As my son says, that's talking big talk. But I have now changed that story of that kind of nerdy, chubby, unathletic girl into a completely different future where I am wholeheartedly seeking others so that I can witness to them and minister to them. And I'm not trying to push my, beliefs on you, but when you minister to someone, you care for them and you help them through their struggles. And fitness is for everyone. At what capacity? That's questionable depending on the person. But that's one of the reasons I dove so hard into this. This isn't just for that amazing size 2 athletic girl. This is for me, who I was, who I still, things I still struggle with. This is for my mom. This is for my neighbor who has 80 pounds to lose. This is for my sister who's technically got into car wrecks and now she's crippled. She still works out with our stuff because it works for her. In addition to that, one last thing I just, kind of want to wrap it up with is the coolest part about coaching that I've found is the accountability through the like-minded friendships that come from it. And I know you're like, okay, get to the point. Well, the point is I've grown so much as a coach. I've gained so much as a coach. Yes, we make an amazing amount of money and I praise God for it. It's amazing. But that doesn't happen just because we want to make money. I wanted to help people. And the more people you help and the more you keep yourself accountable, the more this can grow. So if you have a willing heart, if you want to grow, if you can follow a map, which is the steps that we have for you on what to do as a coach, how to not be salesy, how to not be icky, how to be your version of you, then this coaching opportunity is for you. We're happy to answer any questions you have. You can post it here in the YouTube comment section, or you can go back to our group and post. We're going to come on later with a live video answering specific questions in that group. So not a video like this, but one that's actually in the group. And just answer some questions. We'll say like, Holly from Kansas asked this question, and we'll just, write it in there. Or if you don't want us to say your name, we won't, of course. But that being said, at this time, I would love it if you reached out to the person that invited you to this group and just say, hey, I saw the video. I've got some questions. Give me, an hour or so and I'll get the questions to you. Or if you know your questions right now, send them to that person, or you can post them in the group. Thank you for being here. I love it that you're interested. And I even love it that you're skeptical, because I too was so skeptical. The last thing I'm finishing with is this business can be whatever you want it to be. And it can be your version, your style, and your personality in this business. So if you've ever seen anyone that's a Beachbody person or a coach that you're just like, oh, it's so icky, they're kissing their Shakeology and they're flexing all the time, just know and you don't ever have to either if that's not your personality and your style. So just let all that go away. Listen and take in what you've heard today, and then get questions back to us and let us know. There's a basics of the business document within this group, and it's where I just kind of outline like all the black and whites, like how much it costs, what you get, you can cancel at any moment, all that kind of stuff, so that you can just kind of go, okay, okay. And I love what Rebecca said. You know, there's two different ways to step into taking a chance. And I am so, so happy that we did this, because our lives would be so different if we didn't. Thank you so much for being on, and I'll be talking to you in the group. Bye. Good job, ladies, by the way.